You've done quite a bit, and I'm assuming, well, I don't have to assume you're on Wikipedia. You're not that old.
No, I don't feel old at all.
But you've achieved quite a lot. You started, I guess you got your fame from doing Rockstar Supernova in 2006.
Yeah, I've been playing music since I was a kid and trying to follow in the footsteps of both my brothers who were playing in bands when they were growing up. And then, yeah, just, doing the scene around Melbourne, and then started, recording our own music in 2004, around that time. And that's when Rockstar came about. 2006 was a pretty cool start to the year for us because we'd been supporting some major band like Nickelback at the time. Australia was loving them in 2006, and we got to open up for them, and that was kind of like, there was some talk about, what's going to happen next and stuff, and then the Rockstar thing came about, and it just seemed like a good opportunity to kind of get our foot in the door.
When you say our, are you talking about Juke Kartel or you and your brothers?
No, Juke Kartel, yeah. Yeah, I always kind of did it for the band, I always wanted to get the band over there, so that was always my aim. It just happened to be a really fun experience to go over there and be on an international show with some of my idols, which was incredible. And then obviously opens up a lot of doors for us, and we've had 2 record deals since, and we're about to embark on our 3rd when we go back there in about 3 weeks, which is going to be cool.
All right. You working on a new album? You've got one ready to go, or?
Yeah, we're working on it right now. Yeah, we changed our name in the last 6 months. London Cries, and it's been a really interesting time for us. As Juke Kartel had some success in America, a lot of the Americans couldn't actually understand the name when they heard it. They thought it meant as in a Jewish cartel.
All right.
We found it really funny when we're promoting and marketing our band. A lot of radio stations were having trouble with it, so we kiboshed the whole record deal. We moved on from that. We moved on from that band, and we've changed a couple of members and started writing a new album with a new energy and a new kind of similar but fresher direction, and working with some pretty amazing songwriters over there. And I fly back in there just before February, and we finalise some tracks for an album which we're hoping to record in March.
Well, with your time on Rockstar Supernova, you probably were called upon to do a lot of interviews and things, weren't you?
Yeah. It was pretty crazy, actually. It was happening while the show was going. We'd have specific days where even Australian media would come to the house, the mansion where we were staying, like Richard Wilkins would come and visit, and what show was he on? He was on Today's Show, the morning show. And then, Today Tonight did a show and A Current Affair, and it was kind of, and then, you're doing phoners with people from Iceland, because wherever the show was big, there were always media people contacting the people on the show. So we'd have media days where we'd just have 8-hour days, just talking to people about this show, which was just such a great show to be a part of, because it was the 2nd season of the Rockstar. Obviously, In Excess was a great show too, and the world hadn't seen anything like it before, so it was really great to be a part of.
The name London Cries, which Juke Kartel have become, your daughter, who was born in 2010, is named London, so I'm assuming you've named the band after her.
Yeah, I have actually. It was a name that I've had been floating around as a song title previously, and when we decided to make the change to do band name change, it was at the top of my list. It took a lot of arguing to get to that resolution, but a lot of the boys in the band, we have English heritage. Like I'm a British citizen as well. I've got a British passport, and so it was, there was a bit of a London background, if you like, and so there was, not only is my daughter's name part of it, but it's also a bit of our background as well. But yeah, I named it after her, pretty much.
Was it inspired by her crying a lot when she was a baby?
Yeah, when she found out that I was her dad, she just couldn't stop crying. No, it was it came about because I live in Los Angeles, and so I'd Skype with her a lot, and when she'd cry, it was always just a little, it always stuck with me because it was just hard to be away from her. So yeah, London Cries, but it's also something, for me, it just reminds me of just old, like an olden days, 18th century kind of like the world, a city calling for help. Just, I don't know, to me it sounds just epic. And sometimes band names don't have any meaning, but this one has a couple.
And you mentioned that you were floating it around as a song title, but you have a brand new single out called London Girl?
Yeah, London Girl. Yeah, that could be the title track off what our album could be. I wrote this song with a couple of guys from Sony BMG who are great writers, and we wrote it about my daughter, but it was also about a homeless girl in London because I remember back when I used to go and stay in London a lot, like seeing a lot of the homeless people, and it was always stuck in my head. But when it reminded me of when my daughter came into my life as well, it was kind of like just such and being so far away from her as well, it was just it was good to be able to write a song relating to that, and also on a broader scale as well.
Yeah. And that has just been released, hasn't it?
It hasn't been released yet, no. We've just started playing it live and shopping it for different people. So that's actually going to be released in America first, which will probably be around March.
So what's your current single in Australia then?
We don't have one at the moment.
All right.
We're basically here just coming back to kind of introduce the new name and then go back and record the album in LA, and then the next time we come to Australia is when we do the release, which should be mid-year.
And as part of your new name and new image and that, 6 months ago you went on your YouTube channel, which is London Cries, and had a chat about why you changed your name.
Yeah.
And just a few days ago you uploaded your first episode of London Cries TV. Yeah,
it's this little fun thing that we do. We kind of make little webisodes about just what's going on in the band camp. And we used to have JK TV for Juke Kartel TV, but now it's got LC TV. And it's just about, just little things we do on the road. We played New Year's Eve in Sydney, so we took some footage of that. And, it's a lot of, obviously you've seen a lot of bands do like the little webisodes and stuff like that. It's just a little fun that we like to have and, keeps people up to date.
And you haven't, as London Cries, you haven't actually made a film clip yet?
No, we're literally budding all this newness into, it's just everything's so fresh and new, and we're like in the lull before we actually start dropping everything. And luckily we have a record deal on the table because we showcased for a record label in America just before we came back here, and we're going to go back and secure that and move into the next realm of our careers.
Yeah, well, skipping back to where we were a bit earlier with the whole Rockstar Supernova, and that you said you did that for your band. Mm-hmm. You are definitely in a position to have gone solo, but you don't seem to want to be solo. You like the band environment. Yeah,
it's interesting. A lot of people were suggesting I should go solo just to capitalise on the media coverage that show got and the millions of people that watched it. But I guess there were some internal battles as well. When you're in a band and egos get involved, one of the members that's no longer with us really fought that my name never be used. It's a band, and that no one is bigger than the band. And it was a really tough time because our management and record deal at the time were really pushing to get that coverage with my name. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, who knows what could have happened. And I got offered different jobs. I got offered to do some work with NXS. I got offered to do some work with Fuel. There was some different bands that came into the fold, opportunity to audition for some amazing rock bands, which I just kind of always wanted to keep at the band that I created. So I'm a team player, but this year I've actually just embarked on, I'm actually in the middle of recording my first solo record as well here in Australia, which is going to be basically my name, and it's going to be an acoustic album. So I'm in the middle of that right now. So this trip has been really good. I've come back and discovered a lot. I'm going to have my band going, but also doing a lot for myself as well. How does it feel different to you working on your first solo project? The difference is that I get to make the decisions, and I'm working with a producer friend of mine who has had a great career, and me and him get it. We understand what we want out of me, and he has only but the best interests at heart, and it's really exciting. I'm not sure if you've ever written a song before, but when you write a song and it comes from you and you bring it to people to kind of help make it better, sometimes it gets lost in that process, but in this process, it's not. I'm getting everything that I want out of it because it's my decision, and I'm really excited. You know, the acoustic feel around the world in the music industry is very much alive. All these great acts coming through with the acoustic structure. It's just great. People want to hear the realness in music because we've been DJ orientated for a long time now, electronic and stuff like that. And I'm excited to have, you know, a bit of raw stuff out there. Acoustic is something that I love to do. Like, we're doing a lot of acoustic shows while we're back here, and everyone says it's great because it captures just the rawness of everything, and you can hear every little bit.
Well, you've got one coming up in Adelaide on the 11th of January as well, which is at the Promethean.
Yeah, it's like this old school church. It's going to be great. It's kind of like a gothic old school church, so it's going to be really cool, yeah. Really laid back acoustic stuff, just, you know, doing a lot of songs that we've written over the years and some new ones as well that we've been working on. And it's just the three of us that are here in Australia at the moment, the three Aussie boys. Yeah, so it's going to be good.
So the other guys in your band are American, are they?
Well, the keyboard player is Brazilian.
All right.
And the drummer, South African.
Oh.
Yes, but he married an American girl. So they're over there at the moment, or actually the Brazilian's in Brazil and the South African's in America. Yeah. So we're multicultural.
Yeah. Well, why not in this day and age?
Yeah.
As we mentioned, you've done Rockstar Supernova, and you mentioned you opened for Nickelback on their Australian tour, as well as Seether. In America, you've supported Slash, Aussie and Fuel. You were also the 2008 Clio Bachelor of the Year finalist in Australia.
That's true.
And I noticed you've done Playboy Radio too. So...
Yeah, we don't talk about the Clio Bachelor thing too much because that's funny. But no, but all those other things, fantastic. Yeah, we've done a couple of major tours around America. You know, Slash was amazing. We opened up for him here in Australia too. We did the Australian leg and did a bunch of American shows. He flew us to Norway where we played with Ozzy and Ronnie Wood and Marilyn Manson and Korn, which is incredible. And then, you know, we played with Fuel and did a tour with Seether. Yeah, all these great bands that I've always looked up to and all these great artists.
Well, it's like you're mentioning my ultimate playlist. Yeah,
it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's cool.
What's been your most memorable experience, do you think?
I think, to be honest with you, it was in Norway, and I'll never forget this to the day I die. It was the day before the big festival show, and Slash had invited us to the house where he was living, and we were all meeting with the bands that were on the tour. And we were having dinner and drinks in this amazing house overlooking this coastline of Norway in summer. And I saw Ronnie Wood sitting at a table with his 19-year-old girlfriend. He was 67 at the time, I think. And I remember walking up to him and just saying, "Hey, Ronnie," and he goes, "Oh, you're one of those Australian boys, are you?" I said, "Yeah." And I go, "Listen, mate, for a new band, can you tell us any secrets or just give me, you know, any bit of advice, you know, if that's okay?" And he goes, "I've got one thing to say to you, mate." He goes, "Don't fucking break up." And that was the only thing he said. And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, it's so true because I've been a fan of the Stones for years and you always hear about the internal battles, but yet they're on their 29,000th tour right now, killing it.
Yeah.
And it's all because of that mentality. It's like, no matter what, all the bullshit happens, when it comes to music, you stick at it and you stick together. And that's, you know, when you said things to me like, well, you've had opportunities to become solo or, you know, that's the kind of mentality that I've always had as well. It's like, I just don't ever want to give it up without giving it the best shot and just making sure that the boys that you created with are still with you and nurturing that friendship as well.
Yeah, that sounds like it would have been a sort of, pinch me moment sitting there in that room.
And then other ones than that is when Slash comes up and, you know, picks up a guitar and jams on stage with us and all that sort of like just ridiculous things like that. Or, you know, and then being on the show and playing in a band, like singing with Tommy Lee on drums and, you know, Jason Newsted on bass and just looking around going, is this really happening right now? So
it must be like strange in a way though to be hanging out and touring with all those sort of people, but still the divide between where London Cries is and where they are seems probably so large.
Totally. I know. It's incredible. Like, you know, with Juke Kartel, we had so many opportunities and we had so many people that we had mistakenly had entered our team. You know, we had a record deal where the owner was embezzling millions of dollars from a lot of people, and the record company literally fell out halfway through a tour of ours, and we lost everything that we had going on. And it was just an incredible time for us. It was a really sad moment to be let down like that. And then we had managers who've mistreated us in certain ways. I'm not going to go too deep into that. And it's been a pretty spinal tap kind of career in a lot of areas. But we're still here, and I feel like with the direction we have right now, we're in a great position to do it, because we've actually got a lot of knowledge and we've got a lot of expertise, if you like, about how to, be professional in this industry. Because when we first started, we weren't that professional. We were just like kids in a candy shop, and we didn't capitalise on things we probably should have, and we didn't have the people working for us with the right knowledge, and now we do. So I'm excited about what happens this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what you've got coming out too.
Thanks.
I played one of your songs on the show and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, there's going to be some good stuff coming up this year. I'm looking for, like, all the guys I'm writing with, it's going to be... What's happening in the industry right now is that when it comes to writing albums, you need to kind of be aligned with people who are networking in the industry, who have had success. Random bands getting signed aren't like the old days, where bands could just get a buzz on the Sunset Strip and they'll be signed the next week. There's a lot of background stuff that goes into it. So we're aligning ourselves with some really great people in the industry who believe in us and are going to work our asses off to get a great record and give us the record that we deserve, So
yeah. Your website is londoncries.com.
Correct.
And your London Cries on Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. And on YouTube.
Yep.
But if people do go to your website, londoncries.com, you've got links to your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and SoundCloud on there.
Yes.
So it's actually a good name because you don't have to do all the London Cries music or London Cries band or anything.
No, we're very lucky to get a name that we didn't have to, get .net or .org. It was, we were lucky to get that name, and, it's just a new beginning for us. And even though we are carrying a lot of history from Juke Kartel, we're looking for a fresh start. And I guess part of the good thing about it is that, I don't know, I think we're ready. I just think that we've been through so much shit and so much good stuff that it's all balanced now in the way that we are balanced. We've kind of, I always hate hearing those stories about bands who get shelved and they have like one song and then you never hear of them again. Luckily, we haven't had that. We've still got some sort of ability here to do what we want to do. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. You are personally Toby Rand on Facebook too. You have your own page there.
And I have another one called, there's a Toby Rand band page. There's a couple of Toby Rand Facebooks. There's Toby Rand London as well.
And why have you got so many?
Well, because there's so many people over the years that I've accepted as friends, and your Facebook has a 5,000 person limit. One thing that I'm really good at is keeping in touch with people who want to know more about me or the music, and I generally respond to every email I get, every bit of anything. It's just something that I've always been on top of. I feel like if people are going to purchase a song or support, watch me on YouTube or whatever it is, I always want to give back and hear what they have to say. And I've actually found myself, being a pseudo counsellor to a lot of people around the world too, which is, it's a responsibility, but I don't mind. I feel like if I'm lucky enough to have people that want to know what I'm doing, then I should be able to at least give them some time. And
that's all going to help towards your career as well, because you're giving love out there, you're going to get it back.
Exactly. I just think the circle of life is beautiful, I've been given so many gifts and I feel like I give a lot back, so it's great, and that's the way the world should be.
Yeah, were your parents musicians?
My mum's a music teacher. Yeah, she taught me how to play piano and sing when I was a kid, and then I obviously went through the Australian syndrome and played sport because my mates thought that singing wasn't cool. And then all of a sudden, when you turn 15 and girls like you singing, that's when it becomes cool again. So that's what it all came about. But my mum, she's a retired music teacher.
Well, I'm very excited to hear your new single, London Cries, and look for your new album when it comes out, hopefully later in the year.
Awesome.
And also your personal acoustic album that you're working on. And hopefully I'll get some copies of that to play on my show.
You will.
Thank you. I wish you all the best for this year. I'm sure it's going to be a great year for you.
Thanks a lot. We wish you all the best with everything there too in Collision. So let's keep in touch and we'll see how everything pans out.
Definitely will. And, yeah, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, hon.
Bye.
See ya.